Pointman was founded by Assistant Chief Robert Vernon. He's a retired Assistant Chief of the Los Angeles Police Department. And after retirement, he got involved in many sessions speaking about ethical leadership all over the world. And eventually he brought together a band of men who went out to all different groups of leaders in many different countries to share with them some principles, and eventually developed into principle-based leadership and ethical leadership and anti-corruption. So that was awesome, and the program developed through many years, and eventually we had the opportunity of teaching people in authority, different groups, government leaders, also police leaders, other business leaders, in over 70 countries. As we went through the program in different countries, we just saw the enormous need also for a younger generation. We are busy with the, shall I say, the older generation, but they are on their way out. And to develop a new focus on upcoming emerging leaders, to instill the same values and principles in leadership for them to understand, and start off with just a knowledge of good leadership, of the importance of character in leadership, embracing the principles, and as they grow up and grow through the schools and universities, and eventually as young employees, that they understand it, and wherever they get, they can become people of influence in promoting these values and these principles.
It was in 2008 when I went to Liberia with some of the senior Pointman members. While they were working with some high government officials, I had the opportunity to work with some youth leaders from an organization. And after this week, we sat with the former president of Liberia, and she went around the table asking everyone what their experience was, and then she turned to me and said, "What did you see? Because the majority of my country are young people. I'm interested to hear." And that's when the penny dropped for us, and we realized that we need a youth Pointman program.
So we apply some adventure-based activities to the program and make it very applicable to the contents of the program. We also, in terms of terminology, we simplified many of the concepts for the youth and make it much more experiential type of experience, and go out in some interesting settings, doing some very nice activities, coming back to the rooms or in groups and discuss it, especially for them in their specific environment, being in school or college or some other working place where they can really make it applicable to the world.
So we took the main curriculum of Pointman, which is really geared towards people in the military, high government officials, and we have simplified it so that it can be more applicable to a young crowd, through using games, activities, case studies, dramas, and really using what research has also shown us, that when you engage people in some sort of an activity, they remember better. And so we've built a whole Pointman youth curriculum on experiential learning, also because many times we can't do PowerPoint because there's no electricity in some of the countries where we work. So we've used some African examples like Nelson Mandela as well to make it more applicable to our African crowd. And then when we develop it into an international curriculum, we've also made use of more internationally known leaders.
We started off in Africa, in South Africa, in different areas, like in the Eastern Cape, the northern Limpopo province of South Africa, into very rural areas and very rural settings as well for the program, but also at schools and universities in South Africa, at different camp settings. In Cape Town, we make use of the facility at the Table Mountain, Apostle Battery, beautiful setting with a lot of nice activities on the mountain, and also in the northern province in Limpopo. There's a campsite which we have many of these programs. Apart from South Africa, we gradually moved into some of our neighboring countries. Started off with Zimbabwe, later on to Zambia, Malawi, and we soon hope to be in Swaziland also with a youth program. That is about Africa, but we also went to, just recently in February this year, in 2017, we went to the United States, and for the first time we presented the program in Pennsylvania. Soon after that to Scotland, where we had the wonderful opportunity of working with 40 young police and sea cadets, volunteers, young people, and that was just an amazing experience just to see how they were open and really just embraced all the knowledge that we were able to pass on to them.
I think just seeing, whether it's in Zimbabwe or Malawi or Liberia or all over in South Africa or in Scotland or in Pennsylvania, where it was done earlier this year, that young people realizing that, you know, I am a leader because I have influence, and not to tell them that leadership is only a position, but to show them, listen, I've got younger brothers and sisters, I've got friends at school, I've got influence, and so I need to make that happen. I need to take that opportunity. And seeing the light bulb go on for many young people and believing in themselves, seeing that no, they can make a difference as a leader, has been incredible to see them realize that they are leaders.
I believe that Pointman Leadership Institute is a great organization with a lot of potential in many different countries to reach leaders. For the young people to understand not only the principles in leadership, but the process of leadership and the steps of leadership, and how eventually young people can get involved in building a critical mass with like-minded people founded and grouped around some of these principles. Eventually to grow a school or a college based on this, with a set of young leaders in place who are people of influence, who live these principles, start to be an influence, and eventually to create an organization which is an ethical organization. Because that's our problem in this world, is corruption. If we think about our continent in Africa, it's one of the main problems, and I think this course helps everyone, helps organization, helps the leader themselves to understand what real good ethical leadership is about.